gotten everyone's attention. A young team like this, to be able to battle back from a 3-touchdown deficit at halftime, it's forced people to reevaluate what their ceiling is.
Right. If that's the case, how do you view their ceiling?
Down the line, this is a Super Bowl contender in a few years for sure. But right now, listen, I don't know if we can say that January's success is definitely in the cards, but at the very least, it's fair to say that this may be the most entertaining team in the NFL.
Yes, sir. 11-0. We in deep now, bruh. Every game about to start feeling like a playoff game. You ready?
We've been shocking the world all season long. Might as well keep it up.
That's what I'm saying, though. We ain't sneaking up on anybody anymore. You know the target's on our back now.
Yes, sir. But I feel like that target is always on my back. It's all good, though. It's time to show and prove.
Listen, I ain't about to give y'all that typical eye-rolling speech right here. We got the win last week, and that's all that matters. We played 30 minutes of good football last week, but ain't nothing to be proud about for playing 30 minutes of bad football, too. 60 minutes of effort. That's it. That's what I'm asking y'all. 60 minutes of our best effort, and we can beat anyone in this league.
Back now on EA Sports. If you're just joining us, you've missed plenty, and you're not going to want to leave. A wild ball game to this point. You think about some of the crazy games in the NFL recently. Last week, we had the 20-point deficit erased. This week, 41-41 as we get started here in the overtime session. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. 155 yards rushing for him here as he starts to draw closer to a 1,000-yard campaign. And that is nearly intercepted. Oh, that would have changed things here in overtime, but instead, it's just second down. He'll try again with the arm here on second down. Flush to his right. Caught by Jones. There he goes, right side. And he's into the end zone for the touchdown and the game winner in OT. Well, you never know what you're going to expect when you come to the stadium to call a game. Sometimes you get good ones. Sometimes you get bad ones. Sometimes you get great ones. And that's what we had here. What an exciting finish on that last big play.
And I think that as we look at it, when you're talking about a great finish, which went along with a game that obviously was dramatic because we did get into overtime, what type of play calls do you have left? What have you not shown or what have you made an adjustment to what you've worked on all the way through that's going to give you the play we saw to win the game? Because I know everyone's thinking that was something that they just drew up. It might have been something they've been working on, and now they got the right matchup.
So for Jacksonville, they keep on rolling 10-0 now to start the year.
As dedicated fans of the NFL, my audience is sure to recognize the voice of our next guest, especially if you happen to be a Madden player, where he's worked alongside Brandon Gaudin since 2016. It is a pleasure now to welcome to our show longtime NFL broadcaster, my pal Charles Davis. Charles, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, Kevin. Always fun to spend time with you.
So, Charles, I got to tell you, as someone who's watched and listened to so many of your games, I am always impressed by how prepared you sound.
That's awfully kind of you, Kevin. But as you know, as Brandon knows, preparation, that's the key to success. And let's face it, each week we get ready for a game. It's like preparing for midterms or finals.
Yeah, and I imagine that all that work doesn't end when the season's over, am I right?
It never ends, and let's face it, the NFL is 24/7, 365, so when the season's over, now you're getting ready for the draft, free agency, and watching teams rebuild their rosters so you're prepared for the next season.
Right. A lot of names to keep track of, a lot of football to watch. And continuing on that theme of preparation, Charles, we've all heard that players have a certain pregame routine that they follow religiously. What about you? Any pregame routine for a broadcast?
It's funny. I used to have a lot of superstitions, I guess you would say, but hopefully I've eliminated a good number of them. Now I just review my notes and make sure I get in a good workout to try and knock down a few of the nerves before our broadcast.
Yeah, well, hey, that makes a lot of sense. And you can't argue with the results. And I know I speak for our listeners when I say, give me the analyst who makes me smarter. And my man, you do just that. So thank you. But back to my listeners for a moment, though, because they submitted some great questions for today's interview. Let's start with this one about your alma mater, Tennessee.
Yeah, after we wrap up this season with a Super Bowl win, I bet you the entire defense carries you off the field, just like the Bears did with Buddy Ryan.
I'll take a hard pass on that one. Plus, I didn't show you this highlight package to focus on the Super Bowl. I did it to remind you that the 85 Bears started the season 12-0, and then they lost their only game of the year to the Dolphins. We can't get complacent.